Okay, everyone. Thank you all for showing up. I'm definitely excited about today's meeting. Today will be pretty good. I'm excited for the discussions we're going to get into too. So as far as brand updates go and everything, that everyone's still wondering, every single piece and every single little item is ordered. Everything's kind of ready to go. We're just waiting on everything to get in. Obviously, everything's being produced, everything's being made right now. We're kind of fine-tuning some stuff that we're noticing in the fine details. But everything's ordered, so we're just waiting on everything to get shipped and arrive in our hands, basically, and then we'll be good to go. Once everything, the last order is shipped out, we'll have a tracking number. So then we'll actually have an exact timeline of when photo shoots are going to be, when exact drop date's going to be, everything that I guess we're kind of waiting on that everyone wants to know. So it'll be coming very, very soon. We're just as anxious as all you guys too. So we'll get there. We'll get there. But today too, I wanted to share a couple of things. Not going to show everything, but just so everyone kind of has a general idea of some of the products that we're getting in, that we're waiting on. So there's going to be three different shorts. Not sure if anyone's seen these. So we have these coming in. We're also going to have these two other pairs of shorts coming in. And then we're also going to have this hoodie coming in as well. And then obviously we'll be sharing these as they get into. You guys will have better pictures.
Right.
Those of you in Arizona, we are doing a collab shirt with TG, the gym in Mesa. So these are going to be coming in too. We're going to be doing a collab t-shirt with them. Good old Ronnie on the back. Getting some more joggers in to match that other hoodie. And then last one we'll show today, this little white pocket tee coming in as well. So there's a bunch of different products. Like I said, we've discussed before too. We got bags coming in. We already got socks. We got some camo pants, camo joggers, bunch of different items. I think, yeah, we have final item. I think it's 23 or 24 different products that are going to be dropping. So super exciting. Can't wait for all that stuff to get in and finally share that with everyone. Get everything rocking and rolling. We're so close. We're so close, guys. So super exciting. And before we kind of get into the topics and the discussions that we're going to get into today, does anyone kind of have any questions as far as like products or timelines, anything like that at all?
Yeah, I got a question, man. I
Yeah.
I haven't been able to like join these Zoom meetings because we're kind of messing up my schedule. But I think back in I want to say early December, y'all were talking about this drop, obviously that you're ordering right now. Um, how do we come about it as like the ambassadors to I remember y'all saying that we can use our own code or we had a specific code to use so we can get like this new drop and promote it.
Yeah, so obviously once everything gets in our hands and we get the exact timeline, we'll have an exact drop date of when this all is going to drop. You
Yeah.
guys, as visionaries and being part of Mindset Club and everything, you guys are going to have all early access. Probably 2 weeks before drop date, you guys will be able to order everything. And we'll send out a specific link that you guys will be to apply your code to, and get everything ordered in for you guys. And then as soon as you guys get it all in, it'll probably be about a week before the official launch date. You're free to post about it, free to promote your code, whatever you want to do, to kind of promote it that you want. You're free range on it. But yeah, for as far as you using your code and everything, we'll send out a link, a pre-order link, all that stuff. So you guys will have all early access as we get it in. Probably going to guesstimate it's probably going to be another 3 weeks until you guys are able to order it, 3 to 4 weeks. Could even be five, kind of depending on fine tuning stuff. But yeah, you guys will get links and everything to get all that stuff ordered.
But also too, will there be like a size chart with the link? That way we know like specifically.
Yeah, we'll have an exact size chart on each product page. You'll have an exact size chart and everything in there. On the model pictures too, we'll have like the model of the model. This model's 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's wearing a size XL. So you can kind of judge based off of that too.
Oh shit. But man, all that stuff looks fire, so look forward to it.
Yeah, we're super excited, man. But yeah, we got grungy stuff, we got cleaner stuff. We're just trying to fit everything there. So
Oh yeah,
definitely
bro.
exciting.
Definitely gonna be copping, bro. I got some edits I need to start working on and shit, so I definitely need some fits.
Say less, man.
But
Yeah, we're
appreciate
excited.
it, bro.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, anyone else before we kind of get into discussions?
As far as product pictures, stuff like that, how do you guys want them promoted? Right? To an extent, like so like obviously with the demographic that we're gonna be having, how do you want it specifically, tailored towards like obviously mindset with like the clothing drop? So how do you kind of as you guys is like the seat overseers of everything, how do you guys want us to promote as ambassadors?
So
So one big thing, oh, go ahead, Drew. So one big thing that I think we're gonna start taking initiative on now is we're gonna start building product names and descriptions, and the descriptions that we have for those products will be a better way for you to understand the best way to promote it. So as we put together product descriptions, it'll have a better meaning, I guess. You'll have a better understanding of what that product's gonna mean and what we want it to portray for the brand. We'll also put together a bunch of templates and a bunch of different items that you guys can use to publicly promote it. But as we get closer, you'll probably have a better idea. And if there's more questions as we go, you guys can feel free to ask too. But as we put the descriptions together, you have a better way of understanding how we want to promote it.
Yeah, and ultimately too, like the brand mindset, right? We portrayed everything. Mindset relates to every single part of your life. It doesn't matter if you're a barber, a tattoo artist, a weightlifter, a bodybuilder, whatever it may be. So however you feel that mindset relates to you, let's say like Caleb, let's just say you're a barber, right? However mindset relates into your barber world, that's how you ultimately want to promote it, right? We ultimately want it to be genuine and authentic of however mindset relates to you. We don't necessarily want to force it down, oh, it needs to be specific to this. However you think mindset relates to you and however you think your voice can be heard and actually uplift, inspire, motivate other people in the world, we want you to do that basically. Great. Anyone else on any questions on products, brand specific stuff?
Okay.
Sick. Yeah. Well, Jimmy, yeah, if you kind of want to take this over, let's get into some good group discussion.
Yeah, so very similar to like our last Zoom calls, we're gonna kind of switch gears here and just like essentially, we have a lot of amazing individuals here, so we kind of want to open it up for discussion. Um, so question number one, that we kind of wanted to just discuss today as an open discussion is what is the difference between open-minded and growth-minded? Or in other words, like what is the difference between an open mindset and a growth mindset? Um, and I guess just to kind of lay a foundation for this, uh, in a way, I guess I kind of perceive open-mindedness as being receptive to new ideas. Like even if they challenge your existing beliefs, like I feel like open-minded means uh like really observing your entire environment and like allowing the information to come in. And then I guess I see growth minded as like the belief that your skills can be developed through effort and that uh, like you can grow as a person. You're not stuck where you are. Um, so just kind of lay a foundation there and just like kind of open it up for discussion and see what you guys have to say about that.
I'll
Like, give us
start.
Anyone?
time.
Yeah, I'll start. Kind of to piggyback on that, I think open mindset is the idea of like being okay with different things coming to you, um, different ideas or whatever's coming towards you. Whereas growth mindset is like you're more seeking something new or seeking a new challenge, seeking something that help you change, things like that. So I guess one is coming towards you and the other one is like you going towards it.
I like that. Yeah, being
Yeah,
open-minded, almost like absorbing your environment, and then being growth-minded is almost like applying yourself into it, I guess, in a way. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I
Open
think I
mindedness
got.
is,
My bad, bro. My bad.
no, I was saying like open mindedness is more so about accepting new ideas and perspectives, whereas growth minded is about believing in self improvement through effort, more so. At least for me personally, that's how I see it.
Open-minded for me is like you're like a sponge to like sources of information and knowledge, and then growth mindset to you is just kind of like picking out what you absorbed and being like, yo, this doesn't like cater to me, and this actually works with what I want to do, and then you can use that as to your advantage in the growth mindset to strive to be what you want in the long run.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Because I mean, you can't absorb everything. You know what I mean? It's good to be open minded, but like at the end of the day, you have like your own like beliefs and morals and stuff like that. So like you can take everything, but you can only take it with a grain of salt, as I guess you can say.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Because like rather than just accepting new perspectives, um, you often, I'd say, you focus your attention more so on personal development if you're growth minded, rather than just accepting new perspectives when you're open minded.
Yeah. I mean, I guess as an additional, just something that immediately comes to my mind is with open-mindedness. I guess you sort of also open yourself up to like misinformation in a way. Like
Exactly.
if you're too open-minded, like you just absorb everything that's around you, then you can also end up absorbing misinformation. So you almost like you said, you do kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, like everything that's
Exactly.
Can
coming
I
in.
can I challenge that?
Yes.
I don't think open-minded or not, is necessarily has to be negative. I think being open-minded is allowing yourself to be open to new ideas and new perspectives. Like you're allowing yourself for that to be a possibility. That doesn't mean that you can't have strong opinions, and that doesn't mean that you can't have strong convictions. It just means you're open to the idea that there could be something different. And then growth-minded is more actively pursuing something that is new to you, if that makes sense. But I don't think necessarily being open-minded is a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I tend to agree with that actually.
Yeah, and we're not saying open-minded is a negative thing at all. They both have their pros and cons because like you can be you can be open-minded without necessarily having a growth mindset, you know?
Yeah, can I just add on to that? I kind of agree on that too. I feel like both go hand in hand. I feel like you have to have more of an open mind in order to kind of achieve the perfect growth mindset in a way without not necessarily perfect, but being open minded is what opens you to the possibilities to grow yourself as a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, I like what Ethan said in the chat. Ethan,
Mhm.
not Ethan Whitney. That too, though. I do agree with that too, Ethan. But yeah, I like open-minded doesn't always mean you will be the one to grow, but growth-minded is having something you're searching for or actively pursuing. For kind of like you said, open-minded, yeah, you're just open to the idea. Growth is you're actually in on the idea. If that makes sense.
Yep. Your focus is now on personal development.
On to that, I think growth mindset is also something that can be advantageous to both you as well as the people you're surrounded with. So
Mm-hmm.
to me that's a growth mindset. To give more of a specific definition.
So like what you mean
Yeah.
by that essentially is like if you have that growth mindset, it can positively affect the people around you. Like it also push them to have more of a growth mindset.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You know, I would say just to give it a more specific definition for me personally. That's what vibes with me. So
Like it. I like it.
Agreed.
Any other inputs from anybody else?
Okay. I actually feel like we're on like a pretty similar page with this one. If anyone doesn't have anything else to add to it, we could probably just jump into like our second activity here, which is, I want to just like give you guys 5 seconds or like 5 minutes or so and write down your top 3 biggest fears. So I want all of you guys to just, or you could take a mental note. Like if you're driving, please don't get out a pen and paper and start writing stuff down. But I want all of you guys, like phone, pen, paper, like whatever you have, just write down like your top 3 biggest fears. I'll just give you guys a minute.
Just start playing Jeopardy music in the background now. Do 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 do. Also, hope everybody's having a beautiful Sunday as you guys write this down. It's a gorgeous day out in here in Arizona, at least. 74 degrees.
Yeah, don't be afraid to really think on it too. Like what truly are your top 3 fears? Things that scare you the most.
Mm-hmm. Sharks.
Come on, JJ, you know wrestling sharks is on my bucket list, bro.
I know you.
Stop trying to deter me, man.
When are you gonna ride a buffalo, bro?
A buffalo?
Mm-hmm.
You mean a bull?
Or a bull?
Bro. Just gotta go to Buffalo Chip, man. It'll happen soon.
For real, for real.
Okay. it seems like most people have something down. So, the next step here is now that you guys have 3 fears, what we want you to do is write down how you can take action on each of these fears. So for each of those 3 fears that you wrote, like what can you do? How can you take action to, I guess, either solve that fear or overcome it or put it into a place that is more beneficial for your life?
I have to say too, I love this topic in general just because I feel like a lot of times people don't think that far. So, what a great topic to bring up today, Jimmy. Is
Well,
help,
thank you, Emily.
yeah, always coming up with the deep questions.
Yes, of course. Only ever bringing my best to these meetings.
It really is a great question. I remember when we asked this question to ourselves, how much time we like had to actually sit down and think about it and process it. It's not really something that you ask yourself, you know?
Okay. Feel free to keep writing if you are doing so still. I guess I'll start off the discussion. Yeah, this is we've been reading a book called The Magic of Thinking Bigger, and this was like one of the first activities that the book presents. Um, and there we got a lot of value out of what seems like such a simple activity, something like, you know, I don't know, very often I'm sure most of us think about like what is our biggest fear, and then what is that something we want in our life? Seems so simple, but just being able to write it down and discuss it with others, like whole for us, held a lot of value. um and especially like having a lot of amazing people here, I would just like to hear if you're comfortable sharing, because obviously this is a very can be very personal for some people, um like what your fears are, and kind of go into depth with that, and then like how you overcame that. So I guess I can start off here. So my biggest fear personally, um is regret. I've realized that I have a deep-seated fear of regret, like just the feeling, the way it manifests in my chest, and just that feeling of regret. It's one of the things I fear the most. And I realize that I also make a lot of my life decisions based on that fear. Like, uh, I guess a good example it would be like the other day, I had a performance, a tap dancing performance, and I was in a skin tight Spider-Man outfit, and uh, there was a lot of old people there, and I didn't want to go on a stage, I really didn't want to. But then I had to ask myself, it was a fully loaded theater. I was getting paid for it. Um, but the money really wasn't motivating me. Before I stepped out on that stage, I was just feeling really anxious, and I kind of wanted to just like go to my car and leave, and I could have, but I decided to go on a stage in my skin tight Spider-Man outfit and dance in front of all these old people because I would have regretted if I had taken the other option. Sort of like a funny story to relate, but it definitely informs a lot of the decisions I make personally. And I guess actions I could take to overcome this fear is I can make more decisions based on which outcomes I would regret, right? So I never get that feeling. Um, and then to attach to that is like I can't let fear control my actions, because fear is most often what leads me to feel regret. Like if I would have ran away from that performance.
I think that was a really funny story to relate that to. Um,
Thank you,
but
Tanner.
but also like that's what I wrote down was regret. and I see you doing all this really cool shit, and I'm like, that's exactly why you're doing all that cool shit, you know? So it's not like I don't know. You don't want to like walk around and just be afraid of regret all the time, which you kind of alluded to, but like just do shit, you know, and stuff that you like feel energy towards. And I see you doing that, and it's really fucking cool to see. And you're motivating me on the other end of the screen, 3,000 miles away. I'm like, fuck, dude, Jimmy's getting strong as shit.
Yeah,
You know?
bro. I'm jumping on stage in that Spider-Man outfit. You best believe it, bro. I'm
Yeah, I
swinging
mean,
my shit. I'm swinging my shit around in front of all those old people.
but yeah, that's what I would. Yeah, I think that's really
But
cool.
I appreciate you, man. I definitely, I feel like I could have a healthier relationship with that. Like just that feeling of not wanting to feel regret. I guess I could probably have a healthy relationship with it, but I guess it's a weird fear because in a way it also has helped me. So
Like you're not letting the fear paralyze you. You're more so using it to push you to get
yeah, yeah.
forward.
Like Jimmy,
That's the rawest way to use that emotion.
I mean, like the same thing, like your fear definitely pushes you to live life to the fullest. And I feel like my top fear also like helped me pursue a passion that I probably wouldn't have been passionate about otherwise. Like the fear of getting hurt. Like I've been hurt so many times, hurt my knee, hurt my ankle, hurt my back, hurt everything. But like pushed my passion for like training and like physical therapy and like just learning about the body. Otherwise, like if I wouldn't have gotten hurt and developed that fear, I probably wouldn't have been as passionate about my work.
Micah, you been doing Nordic curls?
Oh, bro, I always do Nordics.
What about reverse Nordics? You been throwing those in there?
Yeah, I thought it was in there.
Okay, just wondering.
Hell yeah.
Jimmy, question
Who-
for you on yours. Because there it can be a double-edged sword there. Like the regret pushes you to do things, but it can also things you do you can regret later. So how have you had or have you had a good balance with knowing when to and when not to, or
So that's where I guess that's where I probably should write about it. I should probably journal about it more and like really dig into it because yeah, I mean, I will make most of my decisions based on if I will regret it later or not, right? Like I'm basically trying to get to a point where it's the lowest percent chance that I'll regret it. And I mean, obviously there's never a guarantee that I won't regret my decision. It's almost like kind of the paradox of decision making. We make the best decisions we can, but very often those decisions lead us to not the best outcome.
so it's like directionally correct.
Yeah.
And do you feel
What
like
it
you kind of like tie in like your morals and values into that sometimes? Like, is that part of your like decision making process beforehand? Like, does this align with who I am? Or after this, like, if I do take action on this, yeah, does it still align with my morals, who I am as a person, who I'm trying to become as a human?
Absolutely. Those
huh. I think that's probably something that would make it maybe give me a healthy relationship with it. You know,
Some
like
of the
tying in my
questions,
Well,
morals and whatnot
serve me?
more.
Does it serve me?
you
Yeah.
make the best decision possible in the moment that you have it, you know, that's basically all you can do. You choose
Yeah.
that action because it's in that moment you think it's the best decision for you.
Yeah. Well, I would like to, if possible, if you guys are comfortable sharing, get one fear from each person and I guess how you could overcome it.
I can go.
Okay.
So I think I couldn't come up with three, but one that immediately popped into my mind was at first it was like unexpectedly losing a loved one, but then I drilled down on it a little bit deeper, and I think it really stems from just overall lack of control in situations where that can be unseen, unexpected, and I think the way to overcome that is to really like marinate in the current moments, because that is the only thing that is for sure. And then by doing so, being at peace with whatever happens in the next moment is what it is.
I feel that 100%, Noah. Yeah, like that was one of the ones that I wrote down was like, yeah, not having anyone in my life, like losing all my friendships, my family members, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I wrote down kind of the same thing. I'm just sitting and really being grateful for what I have now because it is all we have right now. It's just this moment in the time we have with them. So it's really, yeah, just focusing in and really enjoying it, being grateful for things. Yeah, I like that.
I mean, also, I guess like to a degree, everyone wants control. Everyone wants to have complete control of their life. But I guess there are some things that you don't necessarily have control over, other than the action you take in the moment or what you think in the moment.
Exactly.
I like that one.
I feel like too, to kind of like build on that, fear of uncertainty is like a really big one for me, especially since like COVID and stuff, when we were all kind of like boxed in and everybody was kind of scared about this potential sickness going around. So, and I feel like a good way to combat that I've been doing personally is just really trying to find situations that I feel uncomfortable in and doing them anyways. So that's how I've been combating that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that seems like a very reasonable way to attack that fear. It's just taking action, jumping off the diving board.
I'm gonna piggyback off that because Emily, I can relate to that in a sense. Since I do have like a year left of school, right, investing my time into, my senior year of college and really getting the full time to understand, okay, how am I going to be able to learn what I learned in school and how can I apply it, right, to my life in certain aspects, right? Whether that be from, being present within every moment, being, centered, those kind of things. And then also like too, like having my both my physical and my mental to his T sometimes, but then there's also times where it's going to get hard, right? And there's you have to push past those limits in order for you to, get to where you want to go, right? For example, powerlifting's been fucking something. Sorry, don't be sorry for cussing, but powerlifting's been something that, it's challenged me physically to a point where I'm like, I'm dead almost after every workout. And it's to a T where I'm like, okay, like if I do this day in and day out, once it comes comp time, it's gonna be easy. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things. It's like applying yourself and actually seeing it in the moment. Yeah, I might be 6, 7 months out from a meet, but I'm gonna attack every day. It's like as if it's meet day. You know what I mean? So that's kind of gonna help me a little bit.
Yeah, action is the medicine.
Dude, that's cool to hear, Caleb, because I remember seeing you at EOS like fucking, 3 years ago or whatever, and you were like just trying that shit out. So I don't know. That's it. This is irrelevant, but that's cool.
No, I
That's
appreciate
cool.
it, Tanner. That means a lot. It's good seeing you on here too.
Oh yeah.
I see. Alyssa, do you want to share next?
Yeah, I can go. Uh, one of my biggest fears, I wrote a couple, but I wrote like disappointing myself or others that have like supported me, but I narrowed that down to like failure. Um, being like recently sober for a year from alcohol, that was it's become a big thing for me. Because it's very easy to just see a setback as like a permanent failure and like you can't come back from it. I really had to work on like shifting my mindset to view those setbacks as like learning experiences and like it doesn't just completely like screw up my progress. I don't know. Mindset's been a big thing for me and like this group has like always the mindset has always helped motivate me a lot.
Yeah.
And it builds onto everything like developing healthy coping mechanisms to not reach those setbacks and yeah, failure is a big thing for me. So shifting how I view those setbacks is I don't know, it's
Has been
hard
huge.
though. Yeah, it's hard though. Like it's not just like you can't just like
Yeah.
change your mindset about it.
Yeah, I mean, life's not easy, right? Sometimes life, you take one step forward, but then you take 3 steps back somehow out of nowhere, and it really just sets you back. But you got to keep having that mindset that, that's just life. You got to take it at face value and you got to take it one day at a time and keep growing, because I can
Yeah.
relate to that tremendously.
And like, I feel like me and you have talked a lot, Alyssa, like definitely talked a lot, especially in like the beginning of the year when you first started going through everything. But I feel like there's also reframing your mindset from like, it's never truly a step back though. Because like every time that you felt like you were taking a step back, you were really just taking a step in a different direction. And that different direction was providing you value for your future.
Yeah, and like you said this to me a lot, especially when I was newly sober, like any progress is progress. And I think that personally really helps me. Because it's way easier to just be like, oh, I fucked up. Like all the progress is gone. Like I'm back like 10 steps, but it's not, you're not.
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing that you had told me like a while ago was like you feel like you're not making progress because you haven't found other ways to cope necessarily, but it's like simply being in the mindset of having to figure it out is a step forward. Even though you haven't figured it out yet, but just having that awareness that like, damn, I have to find another way to cope is a massive step, and that was always huge. So definitely proud of you.
Yeah, hell yeah. Fucking congrats.
Yeah, for real. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Thanks. I'm also 2 weeks off nicotine tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah.
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 Congrats.
Been a cranky bitch, but it's worth it.
Let's go.
To be expected. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right. Who wants to jump in next?
I can, if that's
Okay.
okay. It's very similar to Alyssa's, where I have a similar feel of I basically wrote down getting to the end of my life without feeling like I've contributed to the world. And for myself, when you said to write down what's some way I can combat that, I think it's just shifting how I think about it and defining for myself what I view success is, right? Because before I would every time I would feel a setback or feel like I failed, my family, my friends, anything, school, even working out, it was basically the end of the world for me. Like it would turn into a whole spiral. Whereas now I feel like I've come to a better understanding of who I am as a person and just found different ways to think about it and just seeing it as more of a learning experience. And that's what I've been seeing mainly everything now is just an experience for me to grow from because it's also me defining what I want to contribute, right? So yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's big for a lot of people that kind of have that same thing of like wanting to leave a mark on the world or whatnot.
Mhm.
I feel like a big thing is like, yeah, you have to identify like what the mark is you want to leave. You know, a lot of people, I want to leave a mark. Well, what do you want to leave?
Right?
Just a
Yeah.
mark. It's got to be, you got to identify it. You know what I mean? Like really
Mhm.
specific. And I feel like it makes it 10 times easier to actually take action on doing that once you know exactly what it is and what you need to do, you know?
I feel like the process of finding out what that is too is also enlightening as well, because you end up learning a lot more about yourself too, and like what you truly value.
Hmm.
And knowing that it all matters, even if it's small.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Kind of like we were just talking about before this meeting too, like almost everything happens for a reason in a way. And like kind of like Alyssa, how you were saying, yeah, it was really hard to shift your mindset of like identifying as someone who had those different coping mechanisms or whatnot. And like, yeah, to relate it back to me too, in a way, it was, I used to be someone who didn't form deep relationships, right? Like and I think it ultimately stemmed from like my grandparents and family members dying off when I was young. People just kept dying and dying. And in my own head, I was just like, oh, there's no point in forming any deep relationships with anyone, right? If everyone's going to leave. So I would subconsciously, in a friendship, relationship, anything, subconsciously, I'd just slowly kind of start pulling away from the relationship because I expected them to leave, right? And I was ultimately self-sabotaging, which ultimately put me in the driver's seat of, oh, no, I can form deep relationships. It's technically been my fault in a way, you know, gives you that power.
Oh yeah. Damn. Okay. That was a phenomenal discussion. Who wants to go next? Anyone?
I'll go if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, sick. To build off Alyssa, I have two big ones, and these have stuck with me for a long time. I need to slow down my speed if I'm going to talk. Hold on.
That's
Hold
why
on.
your lactate threshold is going from a 1.5 to a 2.5.
So, my biggest one's fear of failure. And playing sports my whole life, I always had the coaches and then the parents that pointed out the wrong that I did, even though I still maybe did well in general. And then at the age and then given the circumstances, it's just appreciating where I'm at. And then recently I found out I have a dysautonomic disorder, meaning my rest and digest is no bueno. I don't know how to do that. So I always feel, and prior to this, have always felt like I was truly addicted to high stress, like cortisol, staying up on my phone, procrastination. And now learning it's all a part of it, I have to, one, feel a fear of failure. I have all these ideas, but I need to schedule in. And two is my second one, burnout. I need to schedule in self-care time to be one, present with myself, present with my family. I know that was another thing, like losing your loved ones. So that relates as well because not everyone has lost someone, but it opens your eyes to just be like, yeah, this fight is not worth it. You know, you can take my last piece of cheesecake. We're good. You know, I love you anyways. It's not that big of a deal. And so it just one makes you appreciate life, and it makes it go a little bit slower. Just because I always feel like I'm being chased by a bear all the time. I don't know why. So looking, and this is my first meeting with these guys. Apparently, I unsubscribed myself, so that's my fault. I'm sorry. I'll take the blame. But it's just how can we manage our fears while still doing our day-to-day things that it's gonna one set us up for the next day, the next week, the future us, even though maybe today we don't necessarily want to do it. I guess that's the biggest thing for me. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that.
I relate to that because I feel the agency and the urgency, but I don't know how to like focus it to anything. So I just feel I'm like a stress case, but I'm like doing nothing. It's like
Yeah.
what so like I think that's a huge gift actually. Like you're a generator, not so much as a consumer, you know, you're just like generating this energy. And if you can like hone it, you know, I don't know,
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents. That's how I relate.
That seems like a great way to phrase it.
I feel
So
like
like how do we hone the energy? Because I also work a job that is physical demanding and emotional demanding. Sometimes I'm taking people's stress or emotions out of their body, and I'm trying to change energy. So then how can we still one protect our own energy while giving to others as well and contributing to their energy?
I feel like this is like a really simple answer, but I mean, it was like huge for me. And I don't think Sterling's on this call or not. I don't think he is. But one of the biggest things like I had realized is like all of high school when I was like super productive and I was taking all my classes, like I used to write in my agenda every day. And then I lost that somewhere along the way. Like I got done with high school and I stopped planning. Like planning just went out the window completely until Kylie like really reinforced like planning my day and planning out my time, but also planning out my breaks too. Because I feel like one of my fears I wrote down, which is similar to yours, Danae, was like the fear of missing opportunities, which is like I just want to jump from one opportunity to the next because I don't want to miss out on one. And like I just need to make sure I'm doing something at all seconds of the day, but then it does lead to like inevitable burnout. So like planning also to be productive, but planning to be unproductive as well. And just like take a second to breathe and be more mindful.
And you've been doing that for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, once me and Kylie started building a shared note, I feel like I know what I'm doing with my life, but just on a week to week basis. Like I have everything looked at like long term, but then when I plan it, it's just week to week so that I'm not like overwhelming myself with like the anxiety of too much in the future.
Hmm.
So like big events are planned out, like I have them written down, but like I just work on a week to week basis. And then once I have the week done, then it's just a day-to-day basis and then more like in the moment, just like living in the moment, I guess.
Like
Going off of that, it definitely helps to like focus on week by week basis because I have a really bad habit of like getting overwhelmed with everything that I want to do and like plan. I have like a planner, I have stuff on my phone, and I have like a planner on my fridge. Like I was gonna say like journaling or like even just having a planner. That's like the most basic thing and like easiest thing you can start with, and it helps so much. Like it helps to like see it physically and like plan out your days. Like start with a day-to-day basis if you need to, but like it just helps take away the like overwhelming urge to just do like everything all at once.
Mhm.
Like I just have my life together so much better now that I just have a planner or like a piece of paper.
No, and it feels like so simple, but it really does change everything.
It's just so beneficial because like when I went sober, I like started therapy. I had 3 jobs. I have a dog. Like it was a lot. And like just taking like a week by week, it really helps like start to help you like balance what you want to do and like planning out those like that time alone. Like make sure you have that time alone because if you don't plan that, then you won't have it and then you will burn out immediately.
Yeah, that was like the exact answer to like my third fear that I wrote down was pretty much staying at this exact point in my life forever, whether that be physically, financially, where I'm at living. Like it would suck being in this exact moment. I'm very grateful for this exact moment that I'm living in, but I can imagine in 10 years I'm in this exact same spot. We're all supposed to change and grow, right? So like you said, yeah, planning, it was literally the answer. Yeah, having a plan and a goal of specific action on how to get there and why we'll get there, why I'm being intentional with what I'm doing, right? Manifesting, visioning, and attacking, basically.
I was gonna piggyback off of that. One thing that we were taught when I played baseball at Mesa was it's great to have a plan, but you also need to be prepared. So understanding that your plans might not go exactly the way you want them to, but if you're prepared for that situation, for things not to go the way you necessarily want them to, and be able to reshift your focus to get back on track, that's where the most power comes from. You can go off a planner the best you can, but there's always going to be something that pops up eventually. So being able to understand that that's going to happen, and you might not know when, but you know that it's eventually going to happen, and you can prepare for that so that it doesn't hit you in the face when you're not paying attention.
Yeah. I feel like that's where being open-minded, like you just to go back to the very beginning, like part of being open-minded is just having that adaptability, right? In any given situation. It's like, I guess the planning gives you a framework from which you can make your decisions and do your day-to-day activities week to week. But then having that open mindset to your environment also gives you some of that adaptability. Um, cool. Damn, these are phenomenal conversations. You guys are all awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, this is hitting me right now.
Out of curiosity, if I don't know if anyone saw Ethan Whitney's thing in the chat, like he
Yeah.
had to get off for work, but yeah, did anyone kind of have that same fear of just being misunderstood? And has anyone kind of overcome that or have an answer? I'm just kind of curious.
I think I used to have something like that. One of my fears I put down was not being enough, and I think in a sense that goes with being misunderstood. Um, I'd say the biggest thing, because I wrote it down in like my actions too: self-reflection, self-reflection, self-reflection on all three of them. Understanding that like we can't control what other people think or do, but we can control what we do. Um, my two controllables that I've said pretty much my whole life is the only things I can control are my attitude and my effort. How good of an attitude do I have going into something, and how much effort am I willing to put into it? If I don't have a good attitude, or if I know I'm not going to put in full effort, then I need to reflect and kind of take a step back to see, is this really something I want to pursue, or is it just kind of a phase or something? Um, the other one I kind of wanted to go with this one too, since I'm talking, was rejection. So again, self-reflecting, and I kind of looked at all of mine as just like being afraid of fear, where the last thing I put is fear is an inch deep and a mile wide. So it's something that I continue to try to talk to myself about, understand like things seem scary on the surface, but they're really not that bad if you just jump into it and get started and do something. Because then you can really see, is this for me? Does it serve me? Or is it something that's just like, it was cool to try once and then now I got to kind of reshift.
I saw that same thing from Alex Hormozy, and I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like the story of my life the past like 2, 3 months. It's just heavy faith over fear, faith over fear, faith over fear, and everything. Kind of like you were saying too earlier too, Danae. I'm just like, how do I be conscious of where my energy is going? It's almost having that plan, and I'm really walking with faith that this plan is going to work. Obviously, there's going to be obstacles or whatnot, but like at least I have a plan, and I know this is going to get me where I need to go. I have total faith in what I'm doing.
Yep.
Really quickly going back to the misunderstood comment and what Garrett was saying, you can do like your self-reflection and like control like your effort, but I also feel like you can completely control like who you surround yourself with, and like the people you surround yourself with shouldn't like make you feel those things. And like yes, it's also a lot of like yourself, but I like who you surround yourself with plays a huge part as well.
For
So
sure,
right
yeah.
now at my work, I focus on my attitude and my effort, and I hate my job. And everybody's like, I'm on the clock. I don't care how long this takes, but I'm busting my balls because that's not for them, that's for me. And I'm around all these like, I don't want to like tier anyone, we all have our own shit, but they're so low energy, like they're distracted, they're on their phone, they're not trying, they have all these opinions, and I have to be surrounded by that. and it sucks. So I'm trying to currently find ways to maintain that while being made to feel the opposite.
Surrounded by those
Just to piggyback off what you just said.
Mhm.
I guess Tanner, do you have like a plan to get out of that, if that makes sense? Like eventually, can you almost come to terms of like, maybe this will be a temporary thing that I kind of have to push through because then I'll get to this point in my life where I am out of that or something, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying. Luckily it's just part-time. The other thing I do is personal training at the club here in the village. Um, but it's a really small area, so I'm currently trying to get online with stuff, and that's been a big fear for me. And also just like who am I? Like a bit of imposter syndrome, you know. But I have a plan. Um, it's early in the works, and I'm not, my belief is pretty weak, but I'm working on that as well.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, I'm
I like
working
the
on
sound of that. It at least gives me
Yeah.
a little peace because I don't like knowing that you're in that energy level, obviously, right? So at least that brings me a little peace of like, okay,
Dude,
we're gonna power through this, you know?
yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
I gotta say I fucking miss working around all you guys. I really do. Like I mean 50% of you are on this meeting right now, and it's cool to be here and hear you guys talk. So
Hey,
yeah.
real quick, if I could jump in real quick, one of the things that I always hear when people are going through things is I say not what is happening, why is this happening to me, what's happening through me. When you're in this situation at work, bro, and you're around these people and they're just, they're testing you, dude, you're building your resilience, man. You're getting stronger mentally, emotionally, maybe even spiritually. So just keep grinding, bro. Like I know that there's times where it's just like, oh my gosh, but something's happening through you, man. You're growing and evolving. So just keep that positive mindset, and dude, you're gonna crush whatever's coming your way next. I know it. I know. I don't even know you, but I know you will.
I agree with that 100%, and that's how I've been trying to approach. And I actually left one day, half day. I was like, I'm gonna leave, and then I got home and I was like, why the fuck did I do that? You know, like
Mhm.
I got to work on that. So thanks for that, because I 100%.
Yeah,
Wow.
and if I can touch back on kind of, I guess, circling back around to everything, like it's good to hear that I'm not the only one that has these sort of fears or insecurities, things like that, you know? Like for me, like I was kind of the same way when I was younger where I was afraid of rejection in the sense of like people rejecting me. Right, but I some stuff in my life happened where it just kind of flipped the switch where I feel like it's okay to get rejected by people sometimes. And the reason I say that is because if you get rejected by certain people for you being you following what you think is right, chasing your dreams, things like that, then it's good because those aren't the people that you want to have in your circle. Right. So, yes, rejection doesn't always feel good, but at the same at the end of the day, like we cannot be friends with every single person we meet, right? Not everybody's gonna agree with us, not everybody's gonna like what we do, and that's okay. Like you do not the saying keep your circle small, like that's exactly what the way I kind of like to live my life is keeping my circles very small, and it's people that I know are gonna have my back and that I have their back, and we're all on the same wavelength. So it's okay to get rejected, and then circling all the way back to being unsuccessful, things like that. Like I actually wrote that being unsuccessful slash feeling unaccomplished. Like it's just good to hear everybody else saying that, and I'm not the only one thinking like, ah, shit, what am I doing? Am I doing things right? Am I gonna succeed? Things like that, because like for me when I was younger, my biggest fear I used to say was death. Like and to this day, I mean, I'm still growing. I'm still, I'm afraid of the death as a thing, right? But as I grew older, I asked myself, like, is it death that I'm afraid of, or is it me being afraid of not accomplishing the things I want to accomplish in life or experiencing the things I want to experience in life? So I think it's important for us to, like you guys have been saying, just have something in mind, have a clear path of what we want to do and try to accomplish that. And if that's going to get you rejection, then so be it, but you're going to be surrounded by the people that care about you and support you at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so good. I love that. Just Drew said, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Baby, if it's for you, it's gonna go with you. If it's not for you, it's not gonna be with you. It's that simple. Like I changed my mindset about rejection. Like I welcome it, man. Like if you're not gonna ride with me, that's fine. On to the next. I keep going because we in this world, like, oh, I've been rejected. It's like this socially like conformed thing that you have to feel bad about it. Hell no. Like, cool. Much respect. On my way, on to the next one. Because if we just sit there and we dwell on it, we're going to be afraid to take that shot, and you miss every single shot you don't take. So, yeah, dude, rejection, just change that mindset, dude, and it's going to be game changing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I actually agree with what everybody's saying in terms of like keeping your circle small, or at least surrounding yourself with people who are supportive. One of my like biggest fears is fear of judgment from others. And one of the best things I've done for myself is finding the people in my life who support me no matter what and uplift me and make me feel good, and where I can do the same for them too. And just like building that community for yourself, I think is essential to your own happiness. And also for me, overcoming that fear of judgment.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you said you're building your community. Exactly. It's very empowering to realize like, oh, we can just put ourselves in a different situation if these people aren't supporting us, or we can just go out and choose who we want to surround ourselves with. It's awesome. It's great. Thank you.
Heck yeah. Okay, a more phenomenal discussion. I guess since now we have you, Kevin, what is your biggest fear? If you don't mind sharing.
Oh yeah, hold on a second. I'll get back into this. Oh, dude, my biggest fear. For me, for the longest time, it was showing up as my authentic self. For my entire life, have been able to become a master of putting on masks. That was just due to my childhood trauma of like not being accepted, and I would go ahead and just put on whatever face everybody wanted me to wear, say whatever they needed to say. I became very good at just being a positive manipulator. So I would like hop into a situation, I would say what everybody wanted to hear, and I'd go to the next one and just do it over and over and over. So I had no sense of self. So I guess my biggest fear was just finally this year, finally dropping all the masks and just showing up as my authentic self. Like for those of you guys who see me at the gym, like I've had like an evolution, like where I would have a big beard like Adam, or I would wear my Crocs like Zach and be huge, and I wouldn't have a sense of self in my own identity. And now I just train people in my jeans, and everyone's like, "Why are you wearing jeans?" I'm like, "Cause they're comfy, and I like it." But that was the biggest thing was just not being able to show up as my authentic self, and I finally found the way to love myself the most, generate safety within myself the most, and now I'm just radiating that light and that love and changing lives, but being me. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
100%. Yeah, to kind of go off of that too. The most powerful energy that we give off as humans, like it's actually studied. Like they've studied exactly the energy levels we give off. The most strongest energy we give off as human beings is authenticity.
Yeah.
It's 4 times stronger than love, 5 times stronger than fear. It's
Right.
crazy. Yeah, just being authentic is huge.
That's
Love
awesome.
Yeah. And to circle back onto that too, when you're your most authentic self, you're gonna find people that are like-minded just like that too, and you're gonna have a community that's gonna be your close circle, and it's just gonna keep growing off that as well. Because you really do reflect who you hang out with, and when you're most your authentic self, you're gonna surround yourself with those authentic people too.
Yeah. And we love the most authentic version of you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you. I love you
Keep being it, bro. Keep manifesting it.
Yeah.
Off those studies, Drew, authenticity, I didn't know that was so high, but I did know that apathy was very low. And I think if you don't have authenticity, you have like they're kind of like negative correlates, the more of one you had, the less of the other.
For
So
sure.
that's interesting.
Sure.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting study. Like I forgot what exact school it was. But yeah, it was this massive system that they had where they put people in this container unit and they were able to track, yeah, exactly what like energy level was giving out because they would purposely make people feel love, feel happiness. They were able to track it enough. Yeah, and they found the strongest, yeah, emotion energy wave we gave out was authenticity. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay, I think that's most of the people I see. Moises is currently driving.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
I would say be, I would go back to like losing a family member. But as I dove deeper, it's because I guess I was never present and like always feeling like I have to do something. Uh, and it kind of connects and ties into like pretty much everything that everybody says. I wanted to put down rejection. I wanted to put down, you know, fear of not living up to my legacy. But, you know, I have a control on that. I have a control on not having the ability to have that fear because I control my life, right? And so I thought that, you know, the next best thing to write down would be you know, losing a family member. But that's kind of like what you said, it's because we are all always trying to be in control of any given situation. And so what my fix was is, you know, just being present, just being in the moment, like kind of like you said, I like what you said, marinate in the moment because, you know, anything can happen within the next few minutes and we'll never know. So just being present in the moment is what I have been actively working on, like in my personal life.
Heck
And
yeah.
Gratitude.
sorry, can y'all hear me?
I think it's interesting too because I feel like it serves different people for different reasons. So like there's people that need to be better at planning for the future. There's people that need to be better at reflecting from the past, and there's people that need to be better at living in the moment. Because I feel like each of them serve a purpose in your life, but you need to figure out the balance between the three. But like most importantly, just like living now after you've established your reflection and your planning.
Exactly.
So I do want to kind of respect everyone's time. We're at the 3 o'clock mark. I do have one more question for you guys, which is just like obviously we want to do more calls like this moving forward. Our next obviously our next Zoom call is going to be like a lot more the drop is coming type of thing, and there's going to be a lot more big events happening and whatnot. The news is going to be a lot bigger, but we still want to have kind of like discussions like this just because we really enjoy it. I feel like it connects us more as a community. And like conversations like this are so important to have. So I guess my last question for you guys would be like, how could we improve on these Zoom calls, like keep everyone engaged? And like, what do you like about it? What do you not like about it thus far?
I think that so the last one was like end of December, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Sometime around there. And I don't know if anyone else agrees, but I feel like January was like a 3 month long month. Just felt like it just took forever to get through. So like I know I talked to Micah a lot and um so like there's that, but I think more consistency, like I would love to have these every 2 weeks instead of every month. And
Yeah.
then that way we can split it up where like one of the meetings is just strictly about products or the company, and then another meeting is talking more about like our discussions, deeper questions, things like that. And I think that's going to get, in terms of more people on, you can get more consistency, so more people are going to be wanting to hop on.
Yeah, and
Okay. Yeah.
that'll give people like more opportunities to make it to a meeting with like work and everything.
Wholeheartedly agree with that. And like, yeah, spreading them out throughout the week so people have more different times. You know, it's not just always Sunday at 2.
Exactly. I think, yeah, well, obviously once the rebrand and everything gets launched, yeah, we want to have these way more consistently. Yeah, weekly would almost be ideal. Yeah, and like you said, Garrett, yeah, one of them just going to be strictly business, if you want to put it that way. Next one's going to be topic can be about communication. Then the week after that can be about, yeah, growth mindset, you know, changing the topic every month so we can tune into certain ones we want to tune into. And ultimately, eventually, almost giving you guys, like, if you guys ever come up with a great idea or topic you're super passionate about, we'd even love for one of you guys to lead a phone call if you want. You know, you're like, this is my topic. I love talking about this. Talk it away.
Yeah.
I think going off of that, having different topics, like I know I just spit out doing one about merch of the company and one deeper, but also doing stuff like if someone's struggling with social media, so I guess the same thing with Drew, like having someone who can come in and kind of talk about that, or being able to help answer questions for people who are struggling, either if it's what content they want to put out or understanding how to use a camera better or their phone better, things like that. Just like kind of little things here and there.
Yeah, like more informational meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Okay.
But
Very good feedback.
please keep the deep conversations, because this is like my favorite thing of the whole month.
I also
So,
quite enjoy it.
Look forward to this every single meeting, just having these conversations with you guys, because then it allows me to hear. I love hearing different perspectives and understanding how you like, because you guys are a little bit older than I am. How can I implement this into my life as a younger, person? You know what I mean? That's been the biggest thing, and it's been helping me a lot. So I've been enjoying the crap out of these meetings. I'm just saying that right now.
Great. It's really cool to see that. Like, I think I said it last time too. Like, in the nicest way, we're not that unique. Our problems are not that unique. Like, we can overcome this. We're not a one of one. Like, it's a common problem that a lot of us probably share, and we can all share in overcoming it too.
and I think David had said when he was talking about his fears, the first thing is like, I'm glad that I'm not the only one. We are all in a very similar boat. We've all gone through something that has shifted our mindsets to be like almost forced to be more positive or more serving to ourselves because of negative things that have happened in our past. Or again, like going back to fears that we have are shaping who we want to be. So yeah, like no one's alone. Everyone, it's a safe space. I know like everyone in mindset, me included, everyone on this chat, if someone has a struggle that they're going through, please reach out to any of us.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, thank you all so freaking much for jumping on this call and like bringing your voices and talking about this stuff. I really do appreciate you guys for that.
Real, the
Yes,
vulnerability.
really.
Y'all are amazing.
It's amazing. I love to see it.
Yeah.
Also, too, I put in the chat as well the link to our Discord in case any of y'all missed it, so that way everybody's up to date. But please join the Discord as well.
Cool. All right. Well, we will send out an announcement for the next Zoom meeting, hopefully soon. And then, yeah, big things coming. Big freaking things coming. So thank you all for being a part of it so far. And
So exciting. Mhm.
I will see all of you guys in the next one.
Real. Thank you everyone for showing up. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a blessed rest of you guys' Sundays.
Hey,
Bye.
Jimmy.
Huh?
You gotta show up in the Spider-Man suit at the next meeting.
Oh, get the heck out of here, man. No, freaking
Got it.
Hey, wait, Jimmy, are we talking bigger than your cake, bro?
Yes.
Jimmy always double cheeked up at the gym with the tightest OG stuff on.
Oh, you best believe it, man. You best believe it, bro. My girlfriend loves it too.
Oh, girlfriend drop. All right, guys.
All right.
Later.
See you guys.
Love it, love
Hey,
it.
guys.